I don't know what your niche is or what you do for work, but the principle remains true. People, how you purchase your major capital purchases inside of your business can either cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest over the lifetime of your business, or you can take advantage of that and not have any interest expense, but actually have a system that creates you wealth. And that's what I'm talking about in this video, is teaching people how to be more efficient with their money, right? We need to keep money set aside for capital reserves, for emergency, for opportunity, for equipment financing, for whatever the needs of your business are. And then when we have to do things, like buying this equipment, we can do so more effectively and we can make better decisions. I'm a big believer we need to plug the leaks in our financial life before we go out and try to create better returns. If we can be more efficient, then it's about a volume of money. It's about making sure more money flows through a system that we have liquidity, use, and control of, that we can't lose that money. And then ultimately, that's how we're gonna get where we wanna go, with more predictability and less risk. Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180. And for this video, we're gonna be talking about 3 reasons entrepreneurs need to leverage whole life insurance utilizing the infinite banking strategy in their life and in their business. Now, I know this can be a little bit of a unique topic for people who are just here for the first time, and you're probably thinking, why in the world would I utilize whole life insurance for my business? I don't need life insurance. Well, for my business, I need cash flow. I need access to money. I need leverage. I need to grow my business. I need to be thinking about these things. And the bottom line is, all that is going to be covered in this video. I'm going to go through all of that with you. It's going to make complete sense. And if you have any questions, make sure you comment in the comment section below as I'm talking here. And ultimately, if you find value in this, I would love if you were to subscribe and click the bell, that we get notified every time I launch a new video, because I'm always launching content of this nature that helps entrepreneurs, that helps real estate investors, that helps ultimately anybody that wants to gain control of their financial life and reach financial freedom faster. Now, that is one of the reasons, I couldn't find my book here. It's one of the reasons I launched this book. I wrote this book, Cash Flow Hacking, How You Can Reach Financial Freedom in the next decade or so. It is going to give you the playbook on what you need to do to get there. Now, and that doesn't matter where you are right now, what your level of expertise or understanding around personal finance is. Anybody can get there. I'm sorry, I feel a little hopped up right now. I don't know if I had too much coffee today, but I love this topic. I'm really having fun with this. So let's just get into this. Let's talk about why entrepreneurs, small business owners, or pretty much any business owner at all needs to leverage infinite banking. So ultimately, there are 3 things that entrepreneurs need to be really concerned about when it comes to their business. They have to make sure that they have cash for operations, so cash reserves for operational expenses. They need to make sure that they have enough money set aside and they have an efficient way to make major capital purchases. Maybe it's equipment, maybe it's vehicles, maybe it's whatever unique equipment you need to be able to build your business with, factory equipment or tractors or landscaping equipment or lifts for a garage, or I don't know what your deal is, farm equipment, whatever the deal is, major capital expenses of that nature. A lot of people are bleeding money when it comes to financing those pieces of equipment. And then the third reason that entrepreneurs ultimately need to be thinking about this is because there's this constant battle going on with every entrepreneur. And I know this, I talk to people every single day. The biggest challenge that entrepreneurs have is trying to make this balancing of decisions about, how do I grow my business, and yet how do I plan for my future at the same time? I'm an entrepreneur, I have a wife, I have 3 kids, I'm trying to grow my businesses. And so ultimately, it's this challenge and this balance of, how do I make sure that I save for my kids' college? How do I make sure that I'm planning for retirement and saving for the future? And how do I make sure that I'm growing my business? And how do I make sure that I have all the things that my business needs to be stable, so my cash flow in a down economic cycle doesn't dry up, and so that I don't lose my business? I mean, the crazy part here, guys, is in 2008, 70% of businesses that failed were cash flow positive the year before. The reason they failed in 2008 is because they didn't have enough cash reserves and they couldn't weather a negative storm. It's pretty nuts. I don't know if you know this or not, but it was only a 4% contraction in the economy that destroyed 2008. And because everybody's over leveraged, and that's our government, that's our banks, that's our businesses, that's our lives, because everybody's over leveraged and cash flow is so tight and it's not being managed or utilized effectively, people are overexposed to these risks. And so what I want to do is I want to spend a little bit of time going through each one of those three areas. All right, so the first one is making sure that you set up enough cash reserves for operations. Maybe it's something you need to have set aside for payroll or emergencies, or maybe you're in a business that you're seeking opportunity. I work in the real estate space a lot, and so people are constantly needing a reserve for real estate opportunity. Maybe you're a contractor and you are somebody who needs to have a pile of money set aside for contracting jobs, and the fact that if you don't have that money there, maybe you won't have the reserves that you need to actually obtain a contract and be able to win that deal and start it because of the way that contract is funded, right? And that is what I see a lot of people losing out on. And there's a lot of industries that function in a very similar fashion. And so making sure that you have these reserves is important. Now, the problem is, where do you keep these reserves? Most people keep any money that they need to have liquid, they keep it in a savings account. And in today's environment, as people are seeing, you're losing money to inflation. It's 8.5% inflation at the time I'm filming this video. My guess is probably going to get a little worse before it gets better. And if you had $100,000 in a reserve account, that means you're losing $8,500 in purchasing power this year simply to inflation if it's sitting in a savings account. Now, there are ultimately a lot of different ways that you can manage this. You have to think long term. That is my perspective. And I always kind of say, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, but the second best time is now. And so we have to be thinking long term. The biggest mistake that I find that people make is they think too much about what's going to happen this year and not enough about what are the long-term strategies that are going to insulate you from all the negative economies, all the negative markets that you're ultimately going to go through. And so if you're anything like me, you want to build a business that is sustainable. You want to build a business that's going to survive and thrive through every economic environment. You don't want to just be a flash in the pan business that shows up and then disappears in a couple years. And the bottom line is, when we have this short-term mindset on how we manage our business, how we handle our finances inside of our business, that is the number one risk that you have to your business, is you and how you handle your money. And the best thing that you can do for that is making sure that you have enough capital reserves set aside that you have liquidity, use, and control of to be able to insulate your business. Now, the second thing that I talked about is major capital purchases. Unfortunately, a lot of unique businesses that people are in require capitalization of equipment. Maybe you own a pizza store, right? A pizza delivery store, and you want this really cool pizza oven, and it costs you $30,000. Maybe you're a farmer and you need a new tractor. Maybe you are a contractor and you need a new piece of equipment. Maybe you own a garage and you need new automotive equipment, or maybe a new lift for your cars. These all cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And in most businesses, we all need multiple things like that. Maybe you have a dentist office and you need a new x-ray machine, or a new, like a lot of crazy equipment that goes along with that. I don't know what your niche is or what you do for work, but the principle remains true. People, how you purchase your major capital purchases inside of your business can either cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest over the lifetime of your business, or you can take advantage of that and not have any interest expense, but actually have a system that creates you wealth. And that's what I'm talking about in this video, is teaching people how to be more efficient with their money, right? We need to keep money set aside for capital reserves, for emergency, for opportunity, for equipment financing, for whatever the needs of your business are. And then when we have to do things, like buying this equipment, we can do so more effectively and we can make better decisions. I'm a big believer we need to plug the leaks in our financial life before we go out and try to create better returns. If we can be more efficient, then it's about a volume of money. It's about making sure more money flows through a system that we have liquidity, use, and control of, that we can't lose that money. And then ultimately, that's how we're going to get where we want to go, with more predictability and less risk. Now, the third thing that I think entrepreneurs need infinite banking for, and where they really, really struggle, is the balance and planning for retirement, and balancing building their business and investing in their business, because you and your business are your best asset if you're an entrepreneur. And at the same time, we got to be thinking about the future. Unfortunately, too often I see business owners don't have an exit plan. They don't have an exit strategy for their business. And utilizing infinite banking is a way to get your dollars to perform more than one function for you, right? You can finance, you can have your capital reserve, you can finance your capital purchases, your major capital purchases, and all the while you have all your money in a system that you can recapitalize. And when you get to sell your business, when you get to the place where you want to sell your business, not only are you going to be able to capitalize on the opportunity of selling your business for 3 to 10x or whatever the number is in your industry, but you're also going to have this pile of money that is yours, that you ran all of these expenses through. And because you operated, and instead of giving the money to the bank, you paid it back to the insurance company that you held your infinite banking policy through, and you recapitalized your own money, and you never interrupted the compounded growth of your own money. That's where the power comes into this. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're concerned about the stability and the liquidity of cash reserves in your company, if you're concerned about how you're going to make major capital purchases like vehicles and equipment and stuff of that nature, and if you're concerned about the balancing of planning for your future and planning, for building your business for tomorrow, to make sure that your business is set up to win and succeed, those are 3 things that are extremely important that from my conversations, are the most 3 common areas that entrepreneurs are mentally and emotionally battling with when it comes to decisions with their money and decisions on how to operate the finances inside of their business. And so if you have any questions at all, comment in the comment section below. I'm happy to engage with every single one of them. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell. That way you get notified every time I launch a new video. And that's it. Hopefully you found value in this. I'll talk to you next video. Have a blessed, inspirational day. Take care.